Welcome to Radiant Health, where we're going to explore the healing power of the Australian Arti. And this first session is an immersion into the first paragraph of that Arti. And we're going to listen to that and to start today. So just get yourself comfortable, let yourself be connected to that Arti and the way you've had experience with it in your lifetime. And let the energy of Meher Baba and the profound genius of and devotion of Francis Brabazon infuse you right now with energy. So I'm going to then mute all and then bring up the screen.
Oh, glorious eternal ancient one, your face is a bright transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart prayer I give to you to keep. Creator, yet creation bless you are. Truth and truth's body, divine avatar. Who through compassion the three world maintains, to strike this ignorance that life sustains. These 5 lights are the whirling spokes of bread, of the world wheel that bears me on today. Unless you who are infinitely kind, break the wheels of which is conditioned mind. This incense is my love, this puts my heart, which to please you I achieve from my heart. Accept them as you would a simple flower that has no use beyond its shining earth. You are myself, I sing to you in praise, and beg your love to bear me through the days, till you, the ever-living perfect one, illume my darkness with your shining sun. Oh, glorious eternal ancient one, your face is a bright transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart prayer I give to you.
So welcome everyone. The first line of this Arti, O glorious, eternal, ancient one. And I invite you now to unmute yourself as you feel called to share what your relationship to the Australian Arti has been, maybe when you first heard it, how it has impacted you in your life, how you feel about it, and how listening to it in this moment felt to you.
Well, I've certainly have loved the Australian Arti. It was so much easier than the American Arti. So I just had that curiosity even when I first heard it of the differences between the two. And this time when I was listening to it, and and of course I just love singing it. It's very easy to learn, and it's got a beautiful melody, and throughout my journey with Baba, at times different paragraphs have hit me very strongly, and I like, especially, this is my you are myself, I sing to you in praise. I remember that has really touched me deeply at times, when I'm more connected than at other times. But this time, I was just so, when I heard about the conditioned mind, and I've just been thinking a lot about my conditioned mind. And so I'm very excited that you're doing this series, and I look forward to being able to talk more about everything, but about my conditioned mind as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I can feel that too, those parts as well.
I really found that I wasn't paying much attention to the words at all. But the sensations were very profound. And I could feel, it was almost like a cellular sway. And it just felt like going home. I felt very much at home.
I like that, a cellular sway.
Yep.
I so encourage us, like, as always, to, like what you just said, Marlene, is to experience the shared experience of this together, with the discussion and the consciousness around it, to experience like that cellular sway and being at home. And like you were longing for more about the conditioned mind and what it means to sing to ourselves in praise, like letting it billow and ripple. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Susan.
I'm still swaying. All of a sudden I realized it's like in Judaism, how the people will start to daven when they're really kind of in the spirit of a prayer. And that's the cellular sway.
I'll share about my first experience with the Australian Arti. I didn't like it very much. I thought it sounded like a funeral dirge kind of thing. Like, I mean, listen to the judgment coming. I've come kicking and screaming to Baba. And so the first time that I heard it, I was like, oh, Lord. Because I used to have a big issue with the hymn, How Great Thou Art, too. I thought it was kind of arrogant to sing to God. Oh, Cindy. And I thought the words were kind of simple, and all of the judgment of the ego, and really the judgment of the shame of just the surrendering into the vulnerability of singing to God in that way. And when I had an opening with this RT, this song was, I think it was in 2012, when Inner Source Healing, Marlene and David are part of the originators of, we took a trip to India and we ended in Mehrabad. And standing in front of Samadhi, singing that song, the levels of the ego that prevented me from just receiving it peeled away. And the line about, you are myself, I sing to you in praise, the profoundness of that it wasn't a hierarchy between God and me in that kind of artificial superior inferior way. It was a oneness. And as I was to accept more of my own divinity, then I could sing like that. And I broke down in tears. And there was a lot of hugging going on after that arti. Remember when we could hug with abandon without masks on? And then, so when when I was contemplating, meditating on whether to continue the Radiant Health series, and Angela had encouraged it, during one of the artis that we do 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time, that it just came so clear from Baba, it immerse in the arti, let people immerse themselves in that Australian arti. And what I learned doing, there's not a lot I can get on the internet that I was able to find about the Australian arti, but I do know that it was composed in 1962 by Francis Brabazon. It was the first arti that was created so that Western lovers of Baba could sing with ease. And then I think the American arti was after that. But it was the first one for Western lovers to sing, and that's why he wrote it, which I just think is really beautiful too. And tonight, go ahead.
Could you repeat the first stanza? Because that's what this evening is devoted to. So I would appreciate if you could.
Yeah. Oh, glorious, eternal, ancient one. Your face is a bright, transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart, my hair, I give to you to keep.
That's beautiful. Just beautiful. It's just, you just feel it overflowing with love.
I've had that stanza going through for the last week of my consciousness all the time. And each word, we'll do a healing meditation with that. Each word is so packed with infinite love and support and the facets of divine love. Really quite wonderful.
You can just feel Francis's devotion to Baba, love, just complete love and devotion to Baba in that. And I just love those words. I think, unlike you, I think I've always loved the Australian Arti. But I want to also speak up a word for America too. I like the American Arti too.
I can say that I felt a real draw to the Australian Arti. Even the first time I heard it, it was just so powerful. I mean, I love the Gujarati Arti, but I'm not a fan of the American one at all. I just cannot resonate at all with it. But like the Australian one, I can hum, can sing a little. I feel the vibration in my body of it. But this Australian one is like, I love it. My kids are like my beacons. They also like love it. Like even when we like came in a little late, Elowen is just like bellowing it as soon as she hears it, and it's just. I also remember hearing this arti in India in a different way, like the part of you are myself, I sing to you in praise was really powerful when I was in India too. I don't know that I remember that story, Cindy, that you shared that, but I loved the Australian Arti in India. Like, I don't know if it's because I couldn't understand all of the Gujarati Arti that I loved it even more. Like, I don't know, but it was something that I remember connecting deeply with in my soul when I was there, and singing a lot and humming a lot. Like, we hummed it a lot as we walked around. So
definitely my favorite part about that the arti is hearing my kids sing it. And I was sitting right beside Elwyn when she was singing it just now, and I love that so much. And what touches me about this stanza, a couple of things. So the surrender of giving my heart to Baba. So the surrender of that, and the sun. The image of him as the sun, and his love as the sun. And when I'm out in the sun and I feel the warmth on my face and I close my eyes, that feels like Baba to me. Those are the images that I have. I think about during that verse.
Thank you so much for sharing, both of you, and Elowen too.
My favorite part, at least one of my favorite parts, is at the Samadhi, when just before this arti begins, either Ward Parks or Ted Judson starts with the guitar or the organ. It's just that first part, it's like totally puts you in the mood to receive the arti, you know, opens the heart. So I miss that.
I was wondering who Ted was. I saw when I was looking through different versions on YouTube, him, and I have never heard his name before or saw it till today, and then heard it from you just now. So
Yeah, well, he's a long-time resident of Mehrabad with his wife Janet Judson, and wonderful people. He's the architect of the MPC. Brilliant guy, and a great singer. We finally got him to come to America to do a concert in Asheville a few years ago, and that CD is available, and it's brilliant. It's very beautiful.
thank you so much, Verste.
Sure.
How about others? Would you like to share your relationship to the arti and what it means to you and what you've experienced so far, even tonight?
I think we should each write an arti for Baba.
That's beautiful. Thursday, you're always with the cool art things, you know, like the poem writing and the singing writing. So that's actually a cool thing to do right now. And welcome to Jai, or I don't know how to pronounce your name, whether it's Jay or Jai, but welcome to you.
Thank you, Jay.
Jay. For a moment, thinking of the first line, "O glorious, eternal, ancient one," what would you say to Baba after that? So imagine the first 4 stanzas. We'll do that now. We'll go through the first 4 stanzas. I will read or, you know, say the first one, and then just have your own conversation with Baba about that. And if you do want to write it down, or if you do want to just have it in your consciousness, but I'll give some time in between each line for you to then take that and go with it. So I'll mute participants now for that. And I'll sing the first line. I'll sing each line of it too. O glorious, eternal, ancient one. O glorious, eternal, ancient one. And give this about another minute. And then we'll move to the next line. Your face is all bright, transcendental sun. Your face is a bright, transcendental sun. And then give it about another minute to finish up. And then the next line. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. And then give it a moment to complete this line. And then the last line of the first stanza. My heart may hair I give to you to keep. My heart may hair I give to you to keep. And give about a minute to complete this part of the relationship with Baba. And then bringing ourselves back into the Zoom room. Taking some deep breaths into this precious human form, this vehicle for the release of divine life, including your precious voice and all of your senses. And then if anyone would like to share what they experienced in between, if they wrote it down, or what the whole experience was like of conversing with Baba in between each line of this first stanza.
Well, for me, it was like a love song duet. That's what it felt like. And and what came up for me in between was I bow to your loving essence. I bask in your glow of eternal divine truth. I find solace in your embrace, and you are the source of never-ending love. I don't know that it gets much sweeter than that. That's how I feel. Right?
Thank you.
I can share. O glorious, eternal, ancient one, we've been following your perfume for ages past. How close we've come to your embrace. How close, how close. Let these last few days, weeks, months, lifetimes go by fast.
A lot of tingly energy from the highest of the high filtering through.
I'm gonna mute. There's mashed potatoes going on.
Also divine.
Mhm.
Would anyone else like to share?
Well, I misunderstood the assignment, but well,
No assignment, no mistakes.
okay. Well, I'll share what I came up with anyway. So I thought that we want. So I totally misunderstood. I thought you wanted us to compose an alternative stanza similar to the first, based on the first line. And so I did, and it's clearly inferior to Francis's, but I'll just read it anyway. Oh, glorious, eternal, ancient one, you are in each and every one. Let us praise you for all time. You are the light behind conditioned minds. But I do prefer Francis's entirely, so.
And that's beautiful, David. I love what you wrote. Love it. Could you read that about the conditioned mind again?
Okay. I said, you are the light behind conditioned minds.
I like that. I like the idea of having light shining into all of our conditioned minds.
Mm.
And that was my, I just chose to meditate, you know, and so I was just with Baba, and that's, my meditation was on that transcendental light and the ancientness, because I before I came to Baba, I had a relationship with Christ that was just as deep in many ways as I grew up, and probably have had many lives with Christ. And then, so I just contemplated whether I had lives with Buddha and Krishna as well. But, and then just, Baba was just sitting with me with each line. So I just was in a beautiful meditation.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I'll share what I did. Oh, glorious, eternal, ancient one, I feel you with me now, expanding my love for you. I feel my soul in your timeless presence. Your face is a bright transcendental sun, every day, every moment shining without favoritism or judgment. Guide me to shine like your face, dear Baba, your sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep, the darkness from turning away from you, and the tears from my forgetting about you and me. My heart, meher, I give to you to keep. And please don't let me take it back. Please let your infinite power and compassion keep my heart with you.
Not to worry, Cindy, it's not possible. It's not possible.
Please don't let me think I can, Baba. Please don't let the ego think it can puff up and take it back. No takes back, please.
Oh, I too misunderstood you. I just read the response to the first line. I have responses to all the other lines too.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, that's awesome. That was, well, I don't even know what the assignment was. I didn't pre-plan it. It just kind of went off of what you said, Farish Day. I'm like, well, let's try it and we'll see how it goes. Do you want to read the rest of them too?
Sure. Your face is a bright transcendental sun, lighting our way, leading us on, bringing us home. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. Meher, Lord of love, raise our hearts with your love to meet the light of your own. My heart, Meher, I give you to keep. Keep it close, keep it fresh, keep it renewed in your love.
Baba. Baba.
So it's a whole page.
Love it. I encourage you, those that have written down, or even the energy of it, if you so choose to write it or preserve it or put it on your fridge or whatever it might be, this relationship with the Arti, the relationship that's growing and manifesting through Baba's grace.
How many of you guys write poetry?
Well, that's why I was thinking with you, Farish Day, having a poet with us. I know that Lee is a musician and singer of just the most beautiful caliber. I suppose you write, Lee, as well. I mean, you must. I don't know if you consider yourself a poet.
I would consider myself a poet. I write.
Well, ditto.
Beautiful.
I write, yeah. I talk to Baba with my pen.
I go through phases where my relationship with Baba is very nonverbal. And so this was an interesting experience because I was sitting with it with the intention of having a conversation. But what I was receiving from Baba was wordless. It's an energy. And so I was just in that. I mean, part of me was like, wait, where are the words? You know, this should be something else. But I just went with the kind of formless, nonverbal experience of Baba, and visual as well. So a little bit outside the assignment, but still beautiful.
So
Things
beautiful.
that
I'm glad
are-
everyone did what they did, because there is no assignment
Yeah.
other than to be your natural self and to love God. I mean,
Baba says things that are real are given and received in silence. So there you go.
Right.
And Cindy, when you asked the question about, you know, or when you asked the question about who writes poetry, my response was, well, apparently we all do. You know, and when we come from that place of love, what comes out is poetry in one form or another.
And when you realize that this universe is Baba's creation and that it's designed to bring us closer to him, the universe can be perceived as a poem as well.
makes
An
me feel the
image
energy
just
of
came
Francis.
to mind as you said that, Dave, which is that boomerang or whatever, you know, this thing that you throw out to come back to yourself and it comes right back. It just takes eons, that's all.
Yes, that's Australian too, isn't it?
That's the boomerang.
Yes.
Behind the piano. Give me that.
That's so interesting. I was actually thinking about kind of like a boomerang of light, you know, like that beam of light going out, but coming back as the reflection. I was thinking about like prisms when I was thinking about the Arti, and we were meditating on it, about his face being like a bright sun beaming like out, but then also reflecting back the beam of light.
Just had to have a show and tell here.
Yes, that's a
My
boomerang.
Australian
Definitely looks Australian.
It is from my anniversary trip, you know, trip of a lifetime, 50th anniversary of Baba's visit there to Australia.
Wonderful. My goodness.
Yeah.
I keep hearing the title of Francis's book, Stay with God, like the boomerang. What does stay with God is, even if you go out, you will come back. You know, that whatever that is, we keep coming back to God.
And Baba said he created this whole universe so that humans could, so that souls could rejoin and discover their divinity and rejoin in oneness with God. And that it's really, it can seem chaotic if you don't understand what's going on, but if you can see the universe through Baba's eyes, you can try, and you can see that there's really an underlying symphony to it all, that there is poetry to the universe, and bringing us closer and closer to him. And I think love is what is the means and the goal.
Beautiful. I was thinking 2 ways to complete tonight. I don't know if Elowen would be willing to sing the Arti for us. Do you think she would? If that causes
Would
her
you
any
come-
stress, but I thought that
would
was
you come in here?
that, or I would play it through.
Come. She's coming. Come in here, honey.
Okay.
Will you sing the Arti?
You simply
with us?
must sing the Australian Arti.
Everybody is so excited about you. Come on,
You can stay off camera and just let us hear if you're shy.
just come sit with me. I'll sing with you.
No, I want to sing it.
If you don't want to, Elowen, you don't have to. But it's Cindy. I was just thinking, like how wonderful it would be to hear you sing that. But if you don't feel comfortable, that's totally okay. We can feel the energy of your joy no matter what. But if you want to sing it with your mom and dad, we would love that.
Maybe we could all sing it together. Come on, blow ancient wine. Your face is a bright transcendental sun. Light in this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart, my hair I give to you to keep. Creator, yet creationless you are. Truth and truth's body, divine avatar. Who through compassion the three worlds maintain. Destroy this ignorance that life sustains. These are life's unfurling spokes of breath of the world's wheel that bear me unto death. Unless you who are infinitely kind, break the wheels that which is conditioned mind. That's it.
I think that's the end.
This is?
Oh,
Yeah.
did we miss one?
Did I miss one?
No.
Thank you, Elowen, so much. Feel free to unmute everybody. And I think that breaking the, what with it, oh, maybe we didn't. Illumine my darkness with your shining sun is the last line.
These incense
On
my
the world.
All right, they didn't do that.
You are myself, I sing to you in praise.
Yeah, we didn't say that. We didn't say that one. These incense.
You
What is it, Sadi? What is it, Sadi?
My heart.
Yeah, these incense is my love, these fruits my heart, which to please you I have shaped from my heart. Unless you are infinitely kind, that has no use beyond the shining hour. Yeah.
You
are my song, I sing to you in praise, and beg your love to bear me through the days. You are infinitely kind. Break the wheels of witches. Oh, illumine my darkness with your shining sun. Yes.
So Mayor Baba Kiche, I think Papa appreciated that so much, like the
try
great sense
so
of humor that he has.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
love you.